Good morning. 4:44 almost got past me. I hadn't lit the candles yet and had to quick do that. I'm feeling quite tired this morning. I've had another activity that's been going on in my life of late that is out of my ordinary routine. It's one that I enjoy, but nevertheless, my routine has been broken. And not for starting the videos, that's still the same. Uh, but there has been an activity of talking on the phone a lot lately. I will talk about that maybe some other time. I don't think I'm going to talk about it today unless it pops in there somehow. The topic that I've chosen for today, or the title, should I say, is the question, is everything exactly how it is supposed to be? In last night's discussion about spiritual abuse and what is real, we talked about the concepts of sin and illusion that were the topic of my video this past Monday. One idea was expressed more than once, actually several ideas were, and it is the idea that everything is exactly how it is supposed to be. How can we know that is true? Simply because that is how it is right now, it was said. Everything is what it is, whether we think of it as illusion or real. For me, I still choose to look at human life and recognize what can be changed to make it better. Yes, that's a judgment on my part, because I don't think our experience is what was intended from the beginning of creation. I believe we are still short of what our highest potential really is, and we are awakening to that potential. Not so that we can leave everything as it is and has been, but so that we can make the necessary changes in our own lives to co-create with others a better reality. One more little change, wrong letter, fixed. It was an interesting discussion, and yet one of the people that was there, the only lady in the group, yes, Margie, suggested that it's boring, it's all head stuff, and we've got to get into feelings. It was all intellectual conversation. And she and others were the ones that were saying that everything is perfect just as it is. Well, if everything is perfect, why do we work so hard trying to change things? If we honestly believed everything was hunky-dory, we would be totally complacent and stuck in a rut, and we'd never get out of that rut, which I think is why duality has gone through this time of polarization. Again, I don't believe duality is a bad thing, but as we discussed last night, a lot of what I say and what others say is because we define things differently. Again, duality for me is simply the presence of opposites, the masculine and feminine, light and dark, up and down, in and out. It's relative. Each thing is relative to something else that is the opposite side of the same coin. And I think that's the most tremendous gift the universe has given us, because it allows us to actually have a choice. If everything was exactly the same, there would be not only no choice, but no evolution would be impossible. Change would be impossible. It would just simply be what it is. So the idea that creation manifests as this parama, what am I saying? That's not the right word. As this panorama of opposite expressions of the same thing, the masculine expression, the feminine expression, for example, because the universe has manifested like this, It gives us the contrast necessary to make changes. And the idea of making changes flies in the face of the idea that everything is exactly how it is supposed to be. Well, we don't like this reality or this experience, we change it to something else, or at least we work towards some change, even if working toward that change may frustrate us, as it does in our lives that we can see right now. Many of us can see the world and how the matrix has been operating, and we say, it's not supposed to be that way. You know, you may say it's perfect, and from a certain perspective, it is, because it's perfectly designed to awaken us. And it's doing its job very well, thank you. It's doing what it's supposed to do, what it was intended to do. And yet, at the same time, we need to change it, because it's not perfect exactly the way it is. And this is the paradox. The paradox. Always the paradox in duality. Always the paradox. We don't have to polarize it like we've been doing. We can choose to dance. We can choose to let the masculine and feminine energies dance with each other and co-create a whole new reality, which is really what relationships of all kinds are all about, but especially intimate relationships. It's about doing a dance. It's choosing to dance with each other, to love each other, and energize one another to the point where we actually create with joy the new creation. We've created a lot of things in our world today because of pain. What would happen if we started creating from the place of joy? Well, that's happening for some people. It may be happening for me. It looks like it is. However, it depends on two people choosing to walk a path together and saying, yes, there's something that we can accomplish, and we can accomplish it better together than we could by ourselves. And this energy of merging or dancing with the opposite energy, is what life is all about. It's the joy of life. No, I don't want to go there. Now, I was thinking of a place to go, but that'll be another video. In any case, I've been very tired because I have been talking on the phone a lot to a particular individual who may be a significant person in my life, seems to be actually a significant person in my life. But we both have the vision of making something better. We see what is, and we say, but we can improve on this. This is so important. And it's why I rail against the idea of people calling things an illusion. They're temporary realities or experiences, but it's not an illusion. It's a real process. It's a real experience that we're having. And God, or Creator, or creation, or the universe gives us these things. What are you going to do with it? Okay, now you see this. You feel this discontent because something isn't to your liking. Are you just going to accept it? Or are you going to work on changing it? Now, one of the other things that kept coming up is, I can only change me. And that's true. But in changing me, the ripple effects go out, and it affects changes in the world around me. And that's what I personally intend to do. It's why I have labored so hard and with such dedication to bring the kingdom of heaven to manifest on the earth. It is not yet manifested. How will I know when it's manifested? Will I know it because I feel it in my heart? Yes, that's true. But I will also know it because I see it in my environment. I see the change in that government all of a sudden starts actually doing what it was designed initially to do, and that is to serve the people. Well, it has been serving the people in a negative way, but it can start serving the people in a positive way. That's what the One People's Public Trust is all about, that Heather created and those that are working with her. It's a beautiful thing. It provides the foundation for the new world that we are co-creating together. Because everything we recognize, everything is not how it is supposed to be. Even though we can also say, but it is to a certain point. This is the paradoxical thinking that I'm trying to get you to understand, that it's not, the answer to some questions is not an absolute answer. The answer is yes and no. That confuses people. And I'm not trying to confuse you. I'm trying to get you to think outside of the box and to see that it depends on how you're looking at the question, how you're going to answer it. Everything isn't exactly how it's supposed to be, which is why we work so hard and pray so hard and have such strong desires for change. And yet there are those that think, well, I like it the way things are. Everything is exactly how it's supposed to be. I like this matrix. I mean, I'm able to rip people off and feel powerful, more powerful than others. I'm able to feel like I'm in charge, like I have authority, like I'm the boss. Well, that may be true from that person's perspective. But from the person that seems to be playing the role of the victim, well, isn't how it's supposed to be. I'm not supposed to feel like this. But I do feel like this. That's the problem, see? But I do feel like this when I'm in that role. I do feel like that. And I believe we're moving beyond that. This is the awakening. This is the time when we get to not only to analyze all of these things, but we get to feel them as well. We get to experience them at our spiritual level, at our emotional level, at our intellectual level, at our physical level. We get to experience it all and drink in the beauty and the challenge of our creation, of our world, of our lives. So, in answer to the question, is everything how it is supposed to be? Again, the correct answer is yes and no. If we settle for either one of them, especially if we settle for the yes, everything is exactly how it's supposed to be, then nothing will ever change. Well, we're satisfied. We're complacent in the present mode of expression and experience. We're complacent in that. Lazy, which is why things have to get unsettled in order to settle down to a new reality. I don't know if this makes sense to any of you or not. These are things that I wrestle with. These are thoughts that I play with and think about and ponder over and over again. Because I, for one, look for a better world, and I am seeing a better world come into existence. I want you to know that I'm seeing that. And if you're not seeing that, be willing at least to open your heart, to open your mind, and to open your eyes to new possibilities. And if you want change, work toward that change. Allow that change to happen in you first, and know that it will be a ripple effect that will cause change to happen in the world around you. That's simply the way creation works. It's the way it's always worked, and that's exactly how it is supposed to be. The paradox. Thank you for listening. Namaste.